Estamos muy agradecidos por la presencia de nuestro amigo, el doctor John Brock, quien nos ayudó en este taller de educación económica para maestros en la ciudad de Torreón. Y quisiéramos preguntarte, John, ¿cuáles crees que son los retos, tú que has viajado ya una buena cantidad de veces a diferentes países, Sudáfrica, Ucrania, Egipto, México, Paraguay, y cuáles crees tú que son tus consejos y los retos que debemos ir sopesando?
Jaime, thank you very much. I appreciate being here and having a chance to teach this workshop with you and with Jorge. I have seen different educational systems and different situations throughout the world. And there are a few constants and then there are some differences. I think the constants are all the people we've worked with are absolutely convinced, as am I, of the importance of economic and financial literacy education. It's so important for our children in school to develop these skills which will last them a lifetime and help them throughout. So we all agree on that, and what I've discovered is that in each different country where I've taught, we're all after the same goal, but we all have different limitations and struggles. For example, in South Africa, I think the economic educators there are very enthusiastic, but yet they lack some of the skills and knowledge, especially the trainers and those that are being trained. They lack some of the skills that we use in economics to try to understand markets better in a more analytical way. And they lack some of the content knowledge. But the enthusiasm is their a great enthusiasm. And in fact, I should have mentioned that earlier. I think another constant throughout all the countries we work is the tremendous enthusiasm toward economic education that we see throughout all of these countries. And one other constant among all the countries is that there tends to be, we're able to bring from our organization in the United States not so much increased content knowledge. That the content knowledge is quite good around the world, I think, in terms of economics. But what we really bring that is special to all these countries, I think, is a new way of teaching via the activity-based learning approach. And those of us involved in this now agree that it is a very powerful way to teach. It can stimulate not only our students, but it stimulates ourselves to be more enthusiastic in the classroom. And it's this type of thing that has received great response from around the world. And in some ways, I think it's having an impact way beyond economics education, because many of the economics teachers are now discussing activity-based learning with other educators, not even in economics. So I think the impact ultimately will be quite broad in terms of that. Of course, the biggest challenge we all face is financial. We have quite a network, as you know, internationally, dedicated and skilled at activity-based economic education. Yourselves being two, but the list is quite long in all these countries. But we all experience difficulty in obtaining necessary funding to be able to put on programs like we did this week with teachers who are so anxious to get this material and are so grateful after they get the material, but yet it all takes resources to be able to provide this education. So I think that tends to be one of the biggest challenges. In some of the differences around the world, I mentioned the South Africans being a little bit weak or just not having the background in some of the analytical material we use in economics. That is just quite the opposite in a country like Ukraine or Russia or some of the former Soviet states. In those locations, the economic educators are very well highly skilled in mathematics and graphical analysis and analytical tools. But what they lack sometimes that we find maybe in a country such as Mexico would be the creativity and innovative spirit sometimes that exists in a place like Mexico that may not exist as much in Ukraine. So each area seems to have its strengths and weaknesses. And by the way, since I come from the United States, in the United States we too have our strengths and weaknesses, and I think a weakness is many of our social studies teachers who are teaching economics lack some of the skills, the analytical skills that it takes to actually deliver strong economic education. So we all work in all our various countries at improving this, and I think the future is quite optimistic, but it's a step at a time because it's quite a big project.
Muchas gracias por venir a México. Fue un placer. It was a pleasure having you here and enjoy your participation here.
Thank you very much, Jaime.
Thank you. Thank you, John.